In this video, we will be looking at the updates that come in the 2026.04 update to DDM. The first change to be aware of is that the default search in DDM has changed from search everything to search all items. The reason for this is that search everything, as the name suggests, will search all items, so that's parts, assemblies, drawings and documents, all of your folders, so any processes that you've set up, and any search actions that exist. Obviously in a large database this can be a much slower search, so we've changed that default to alleviate the issue. Now the default can be set within Tools and Options under the Default Startup Search area. Now whilst the default has changed from everything to all items, we can still set it to everything as our default search or any of the other searches, but it's something to bear in mind if you experience slow searches. Now with that in mind, we've also added an update, which is a keyboard shortcut where pressing CTRL-H will clear the current search and return you to the default search that you have set here. So for example, if I navigate to this category and press CTRL-H, this will return me to the default search. Under Save Searches, we've also made updates. We've migrated from the original Delphi code to C#. So this is a more efficient code, and with that a few changes have occurred. So I've selected the Save Current Search, and we can see we've got our navigation tools at the top. In the middle here we have the option to give our saved search a name, and at the bottom we have the structure of our saved search folders. So I've got the saved search, demo, saved searches. At the top we can expand and collapse the structure, and if I select one of the subfolders, I can see the option to create new folders, rename the existing folder to make private or public. I can reassign the folder and the searches. I can lock, unlock, cut, copy and paste and delete. And if I select a folder, I can add and replace that search. So we will navigate to this category and look at this item here. So by default, the preview we can see here is the thumbnail, which can be found in the attachments. In the attachments I have the thumbnail, which is the current preview, as well as a couple of PDFs. So with this PDF I can select Use as Preview, and we can see it's updated to show us the PDF document that I've manually attached. And with that we can now attach any file type. So if I navigate into my folders, I can attach a zip file, and when we attach files we'll get a series of prompts. So we can see the file name, the file type, any comments that exist, the file size. We then have the option to copy on new issue. What this means is if this tick box is checked, when we up issue the parent item, this item will automatically be copied across. The file name already exists checkbox indicates that this file has already been attached, giving us the option to overwrite the existing file or not. And then we have the option to use as default preview, which can be set as a PDF or a image file. The default attachment is the file type that will launch if we select the load preview option from the right click menu, which we will look at in just a moment. So with this zip file, we'll copy it on new issue. It already exists, so we will overwrite the existing file. So we can see the zip file has been attached here. Now we have the PDF as our preview. If I right click, we have the Use as Default Attachment. The default attachment means that if I now right click and select Open in Viewer, where previously if you didn't have a viewer set up you wouldn't be able to launch the file, the Use as Default Preview means I can set any file type to load. So I've used an image file here. I also have a 3D PDF, which I can set as the default attachment. So we can make more use of the preview options available in DDM, even on the 3D models now. The other useful update for the attachments can be found under the right-click and Properties option. Here we have the checkbox, which is required by native file. With this checkbox marked, what that means is whenever we load the native item into its program, it will download any file that is checked as required by native file into the working directory. So this is particularly useful, for example, using images in drawings. So if you have an image that you've input into a drawing, perhaps a label, for example, and you need the external image file to be attached, as long as this checkbox is checked, when we load the drawing, the image will be downloaded with it. So here we have the PDF set. If we now load this item into CAD, so we'll load that up. And if we now check the working directory, we can see that along with the part, we've also downloaded that PDF. And this can be done with any item type. And the same can be done with attaching neutral file types to any other item in the database. So here on the drawing, I've also attached a PDF. If we look at the properties, we can also set this to be required by the native file. We also have the options to use as preview and default attachments. That can also be done with documents. Whilst we're looking at the embedded properties, we've also made changes to the comments. In here we can see I have a couple of comments, and the update now allows me to select the comment, which will show the comment in the preview window. So this is particularly useful for long comments, but it also allows us to view images that have been attached. So in this second comment, we can see I've attached an image of the preview window of this item. Next, we will have a look at some changes to the Bill of Materials editor. So if we navigate to some assemblies I have in the database, and we will load the Bill of Materials editor. We can now use multi-select to set multiple values at once in the Bill of Materials editor. So I can select these two items where example is listed in the notes. And because I've clicked on the notes column, if I press F2, I can update the notes on a single item, and that will update both items. And this can be done on quantities as well. So I could also add spares if I select two items with spares and press F2. Add a quantity to the spares column for both of those items. This just helps improve the efficiency when updating a bill of materials. The next update we'll look at is in the admin tool. So if we navigate to the admin client and log in, if we head to the workflow editor under folders and workflows, the first change we've made is that the workflow editor now has its own launch button, so we can externally look at importing and exporting workflow configurations, as well as modifying the frequency for timeout checks. If we launch the workflow editor, we can look at modifying one of our workflows. If we look at the preview, we've made a few changes in here. So we've added the option to show grid lines, snap to grid on drag, and show guidelines. What this means is as I move an item around, we can see the green guidelines will appear as I align the box with certain views, making it easier to make changes to your workflow and get it looking as you would like. Over on the top right, we have the grid size with the snap to grid options. Hence, you can see it's snapped to the grid here. Adjusting this value increases and decreases the size of the grid. So decreasing the size means we have more fine movements when snapping to grid. Increasing that grid size gives us larger steps between those points. So again, some quality of life improvements, allowing you to better adjust your processes in the workflow editor. So if we head over to the CAD environment now, so we'll look at Solid Edge first of all, and we've added in the functionality of the logging tool. If you run into any issues when using DDM with Solid Edge, we've added the functionality to log any steps that you're taking. So if you're trying to reproduce an issue, you can use the logging tool to record the steps that you've taken. So we can start and stop with this option here. And once you've reproduced the error, we can open the log and then share the log file with our support team, making it easier to diagnose exactly what's happened. This functionality is also available in Solidworks. And can be found in exactly the same place. So if I just launch a new part, we can see on the DDM ribbon we have the logging on and off and the log directory. So again, if you run into any issues, if you use the logging tool, you can then share that log file with our support team.